Greetings, beautiful people. It is none other than I, your favorite content curator, Beige Moon. Here, we're at Anime Expo Chibi, opposed to just regular Anime Expo. As of recording, it is November 9th, and it is a two-day event, so the 9th and the 10th. So that's where we are today. I'm here to interview a few cosplayers that I think are really interesting and show you a little bit about the con. I'll see you inside. This is Anime Expo Chibi, a very low-key event that I didn't even know about until my friend kind of described it as kind of Anime Expo back then. As some of you may know already, and I'm sorry if you do already know, because I might be a little annoying about it, but I've only ever been to one other Anime Expo besides the one that I went to this year, which was in 2012. So it's a huge difference seeing Anime Expo from like 12 years ago to right now. It's insane. I had no idea anime would blow up to the degree that it did. And just seeing that difference in time is crazy. My friend Star describing Anime Expo Chibi as sort of Anime Expo from back then in terms of like scale. He was definitely right about that, you know? It really kind of felt like taking a time machine and going back in time to my first ever con experience, which was AX 2012. So that was cool. How do I describe AX Chibi? It is like Anime Expo without a lot of the big panels. It's very low key. I didn't even know about it, so that might probably kind of give you an idea of how low key it is. There's not a lot of people, which I personally like. I like that because it makes it very easy to go from place to place. In place of panels, there are meeting rooms for all sorts of niches. There's one that I saw for retro gaming, for example. They had one for just regular gaming, and there was a manga club, as well as a cosplay repair area, which was really cool. I took a few shots of my friend in the Kamen Rider cosplay on the second day of Anime Expo Chibi. They have like different backgrounds that you can take pictures in. One was like, for example, a school classroom. Another one was like the school rooftops that you see a lot in anime. There was a post-apocalyptic one, as well as a subway, from what I remember. There was a few more, but those are the ones that really stood out to me. So there's that. And, you know, there was, in terms of Anime Expo Chibi, the main hall, like you would expect from most conventions. But then the Artist Alley, in my personal opinion, I really liked it more than the one at, you know, AX. AX Chibi, there were a lot more artists that I had recognized. And since there are less artists at a smaller event, I feel like they have to be a bit more subjective about who they pick. So I saw like a huge variety of art styles. I'm not trying to like diss on any sort of artists like that sell art at Anime Expo, not at all. But because there are less, I just feel that there is a variety of art styles. And I really like seeing that. I like seeing people that, you know, drew toku art. It's not a really big, you know, genre. So having someone who actually dedicates their time and actually draws toku art was really cool. Magui, I hope I'm saying that right, on Twitter, Magui, is someone I've been following on my personal Twitter for a long time, and I love their art a lot. So seeing them in person and seeing their art and being able to purchase that art was really cool. As well as I met someone with my brother on the first day. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Sizn Art, S-I-Z-N Art. I'll link her below. I really like her art as well. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. I really did enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing like that realistic / anime art. I don't see it often. And so I talked to her. Surprisingly enough, she's Korean. My brother and I had a good chat about that. Very cool person. I can't recommend their art enough. So definitely check down in the link below to see their art. I did 2 interviews at AX Chibi. I've enjoyed everyone that I've interviewed up until this point. They're very down to earth, very cool, and you know, surprisingly enough, I always expect people to shoo me away more often. It's not like it never happens. It does happen as an interviewer, but I'm not really crushed by it because I know that it's very much about people's comforts, and I don't want to infringe on that. You know, if you're not comfortable being interviewed, if you're not comfortable being on video, then I don't want to do that to you, you know? And I completely understand that. So there's that as well. But surprisingly enough, I've only ever really been shooed away at AX, maybe like 2-3 times, and at Chibi, just once. Granted, there are less interviews, so there's less of a chance to get, you know, shooed away. But I only ever really interview people that have, like, in my opinion, cosplays that really stand out to me or it means something to me, I guess. So yeah, I wanted to interview more people at AX Chibi, but after doing 2 interviews, one being 45 minutes and the other being 55 minutes, I decided maybe capping it at 2 interviews is enough. So yeah, that's what I ultimately decided. I enjoyed the rest of the con. I also have a bunch of shots of me going through different places. You know, I have one where I'm going through the main hall, the artist alley, the food area where you can get a bunch of food from a bunch of food trucks. Shout out to Okamoto for no reason. No, it's not for no reason. I really like their food a lot. I've seen them at AX and I've seen them at AX Chibi now. This is the second time I've seen them. They have great food. I feel like they don't get a lot of attention, and their drinks are amazing. And you know, I think they're really fairly priced. And yeah, that if you get the chance, please do check them out at cons, and you know, check out their Instagram page. They have really cool characters that kind of go along with the restaurant. My brother and I picked up drinks based off of the show Arcane, which was really cool. I don't have actual like video of it. I have a few pictures. They had like a light up option where if you click the bottom of the bottle, the whole drink lights up. Our mistake was buying those drinks earlier into the day, my brother and I. And we didn't really get to see it glow. We were going around the con at different places in like dark areas and turning it on to kind of see what the drink would look like if it lights up. And you know, it's really cool. If you saw us, you probably saw like 2 doofuses kind of like going underneath like the stairwell or wherever there's like a good enough shadow, and you know, turning the switch on to see if the drinks kind of like light up. So there was that experience. My brother took me to my first ever maid cafe at AX Chibi. The maids were really cool. I respect that grind because I could never do it. It takes a whole lot of confidence, and I respect the hell out of all of them for doing that. It was a lot of fun. Me personally, probably maid cafes are not my thing, but for the sake of my brother doing like a whole thing with maid cafes and whatnot, it was interesting to see that world. And I'm kind of glad that I checked it out, because otherwise I don't think I would have gone. But yeah, it was cool. Everyone I talked to was really cool there. Notable people, there was Coco and there was Sue. Both of them were really, really nice, really, really cool to talk to. And pretty much everyone, like I said, was really cool to talk to at the Maid Cafe. I don't know if you know the restaurant, but in my area, there used to be a place called Farrell's, where the wait staff would sing and clap and dance and announce when food is coming out. It kind of reminded me of that times like 10. As for the people I interviewed, the first people I interviewed were Jean Wanwan and Petrified. First of all, could you guys also introduce yourselves for people that don't know who you guys are cosplaying, and also let the people know why you chose the character you guys decided to dress up as?
Hello, I'm Jean Wanwan. You can find me on all social medias, and I'm dressed as Nerissa, and I'm cosplaying her because she's the baddest, so you know how to serve.
And I'm petra.fyed, and I cosplayed Shiori because we needed to be gay together. And they're the pairing.
The lesbianism.
We love them. I love how
To be perfectly clear, you guys exude like really close energy, so this is perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, my first real question for you guys is that what are some differences between Anime Expo and Anime Expo Chibi for people that aren't aware?
Well, we mostly work at Anime Expo, so it's a little more like very work like related for us.
Right.
So this one has been a lot more relaxing. You know, we got to like just come to the meetup and things like that. So yeah, I think the difference is like the amount of fun that we get to have freely. So AX main is very tiring for us. So this one is like a fun, nice little con that we actually get to hang out with everybody. So I think it's just a fun part for it.
And the weather is much better here.
Right.
AX, it's very crowded. There's a lot of people. And there's a lot of like exhibitors, and the artist alley is really good. I feel like this is just like a more toned down and chill version.
Yeah.
It helps that it's not in summer, right?
Yes, it does. And the artist alley is still very good. And the
It
vendors,
is.
I haven't seen much because we've been working, but it is really good from what I've seen.
All right, my next question for you guys is, if you can travel anywhere in the world you want, all expenses paid, and the stay is taken care of, however, you have to cosplay a recognizable anime character throughout the trip. Where are you going and who are you cosplaying as?
Oh man, a recognizable anime character.
Recognizable. Anime.
Anime.
So
all right.
nothing like safe, nothing like school uniform or nothing
Right,
like that,
right,
but like
right. So
just straight up recognizable.
So I would go to Japan because I still have not made it there, and hopefully I will make it there at one point. And I will cosplay Robin from One Piece. I feel like that should be very recognizable, and I can cosplay it without a wig, so they cannot get on my case about me being in cosplay. So,
Fair.
bam.
Yeah.
I think I would probably pick like Osaka or Japan, maybe Ikebukuro area. But you're not supposed to cosplay public in Japan. It's like kind of frowned upon. But if I had to choose, it
There are
has to be
certain areas.
anime, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Chi from Chobits, because she's
Okay.
my favorite. Yeah.
Right. Right
Or
on.
Nami, because One Piece is very recognizable.
Yeah.
Again,
I
you
love
guys would be.
Nami.
You guys
We would be together.
One
Together,
Piece,
then I would
yeah.
be Nami.
There we go.
Okay, I was like, all I cosplay is games and VTubers.
Okay, this next question is a little dangerous and dare I say a bit controversial, but what is a popular anime that you personally think is overrated and why?
The haters about to come in, but you know, I think Boruto is very overrated. Straight up. Any anime that puts down my man Naruto after everything that he did, after everybody that he saved, and you come here to tell me again that he's a bad dad and all this bullshit, I'm like, we don't like no anime that puts down my man. Naruto, best Hokage ever, all right?
I feel like my answer is people say a lot, but Boku no Hero Academia. I cannot do it. There are
Fair.
so many different like school animes that are way better than Boku no Hero Academia. I don't know. I just cannot.
It's
do
like the rest of the people are kind of like surface level and they're not really trying to see.
it. The ending, like I saw on Twitter, I was just like,
Just feel like, what
this makes
happened?
no sense. I dropped it.
That's fair. No,
Do it.
that's more than fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So not just me, but the viewers on one of your personal favorite underrated shows, and why should we watch it?
Oh man, underrated shows. Honestly, for me would be like Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. I feel like it's not a very popular anime out there, but it's literally on my top 3 animes ever. Bro, wow, they cooked. They literally cooked. Amazing character design, amazing story, amazing soundtrack. There is nothing that you can pick on that anime that you're like, that's bad. Absolutely masterpiece.
You're cooking.
Okay, so I think for mine would be Land of the Lustrous or Hoseki no Kuni.
Oh, yes.
Who it's the same studio that does Beastars, so it's a lot of that like 3D animation, but it is the most beautiful
It
3D
is.
animation I've seen in my life, and the story is like Kino. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And they need to pick it back up again and animate it, but I recommend watching the first season and then just reading the manga because like the trip that the MC goes on from like the beginning until the end is like insane.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is.
I can sense the passion in that
Yeah.
answer. This next one is, what is your criteria for an anime waifu or husbando? What must the character have in terms of looks, personality, etc., to get you to put said character into your list? And what are some green flags and red flags?
So for me, looks-wise, they gotta be well built. They gotta be well built. That's just what I like.
Well-rounded.
Well-rounded, all around. Now, personality, I don't like to be taking care of people. Like, I cannot do that, so I need a strong character that can be independent and can also, you know, let me in, but I don't want to be taking care of nobody.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay. And some green and red flags. Yeah, I feel like for me, like a red flag is just, you know, characters that are like very like liars. Like I hate liars. So whenever there is something like that, but people try to excuse it like, oh, it's just part of the plot. I'm like, yeah, well, they're out of my plot, bro. No. Green flags, basically anybody that like honor, you know, people that literally like whatever they say, they're there. They're making it happen. Okay, so from One Piece, like Monkey D. Luffy, bro, that man, that's it. That's my biggest green flag. That man tells you, you're my friend, and he will do anything on earth to make it up to you. Period.
Yeah.
That's my green flag right there.
So like basically anyone that is just lets you know who they are, doesn't
Yes.
hide anything.
No
lets
lies,
you know
bro.
everything
It literally
upfront.
goes, it's literally the reverse of mine. I hate liars, so anybody that is like really honest and upfront, that's a green flag for me.
Okay, so my type, bar for bar, an anime man, is tall, dark hair, facial hair, looks like they eat their cigarette butts, and wear glasses. I like a man.
Wait, who are you talking about? Because it sounds like you're describing somebody.
Dodichin from Durarara. There's a lot
That's
of
a good-
men.
that's
There's
a
lot
great-
of yes.
yeah.
There's a lot of men in this
Okay.
category. There is, but he is an example of someone who's like really reliable, which is green flag.
Yeah.
So nobody who's lazy. It's a very red flag for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Just someone who's like inspired and passionate.
And active.
Yes, but not too extroverted because I'm an introvert. So
Fair.
Hey, in the bright side, if they are extroverted, they could do all the socializing for
that's
you.
true. That's true. That would be nice.
Oh,
Some
what
green
are
or
green
red
and red
flags?
flags?
Oh yeah. So green flags, just
As well?
responsible.
Right,
Literally
right, right.
responsible. Yeah.
And-
Red flags, I
Literally the opposite of that.
Yeah.
No lazy bums in the house,
No.
baby.
no.
In your personal opinion, what are the essential cosplay tools that someone would need to make a successful cosplay?
Work on your wig. Iron your costume. Those are the top two for me. Like, honestly, I don't even have a top three. I'm like, if your wig looks like you put effort into it and your costume is iron/steam, you're making it, baby. You're already there. Yeah.
Makes a whole world of difference,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally.
basically, just like it's all practice. So wigs for sure can like heighten your cosplay a lot. Like steaming, ironing, like tailoring the costume to you so it fits well, so you're not uncomfortable while you're wearing it. And then makeup too, just like
Yep.
practice. And it's literally just practice.
Yeah, it's all a matter of practice. It's like,
Over and over
and
and
don't
over
be
again.
scared of trying. Like, everybody looked like butts at the beginning.
Yes.
Like, we all went through
That's
that
very
stage
true.
where we didn't know how to
That's right.
style wigs. We didn't know that we were supposed to steam our costumes out of the bag, and we didn't know how to do our makeup. But if you keep trying, like, you keep doing it better, it gets nicer every time, I
Yeah.
swear.
Basically trial and error, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you remember what got you into cosplaying? And what was the moment where you decided, I actually want to dress as the characters I like? How did you build that confidence to get you to where you are right now?
Well, I'm from Cuba, like, so we didn't have internet there. So it was very, like, chaotic, but somehow I ended up with some pirated, like, cosplay photos when I was like 14, and I was like, oh my God, you can dress up as the anime characters? This is nuts. So I literally, like, I was so excited about it, so I literally went and did it, and it was like really, really dorky because it didn't make any sense. It was like Tiki Mick from The Gray Man. It was a dude, and I just went and tried to rent a tuxedo from like one of those like quinceañera things, and they were like, oh, you want to dress? And I'm like, actually, I want the tuxedo, and I got the worst looks ever, but I was so happy. So yeah, I think that's literally, I just wanted to be some of my favorite characters because I had no idea that was a thing. So when I found out, I was like, this is it. And I'm 32 now and still doing it. So it's been a while.
Right on.
Basically, for me, like I was all into anime during like high school, back when it was cringe. So I went to a convention for the first time in the middle of nowhere, and I went there and I was just like, holy shit, people are dressed up as anime characters, and I was like, I want to try that. My very first cosplay was horrible. It was dog shit. It was really
All of
bad. I mean,
us.
it was very bad. And then I didn't stop because I just like loved it so much. So
It's
I
all
kept
part of a
doing it.
process
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Everyone's
You
got to
gotta
start
be
somewhere.
bad to be good.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I just like, I saw that. I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Also, I think people forget oftentimes that there was a point in time where liking anime publicly was just,
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird, yeah.
I literally had somebody that I was in high school with, and they were like, oh, can you pretend, like, because he was a guy. So he was like, can you pretend like we're talking, tell them that I'm just hitting on you. So don't tell them that we're talking about anime. We had nothing, zero romantic relationship, but he was like, just tell them I'm hitting on you. That's how bad. He didn't want people to know that he liked anime. And I was like, sure, bro, whatever you want, because I have nobody else to talk about this with. So I was just pretending that we were, you know, romantically involved because he didn't want to talk about anime. It was crazy.
well, that's really kind of you.
Yeah.
Anime Expo, as well as a bunch of other anime conventions, have after parties that have become more known in recent years. Have you ever gone to one of those parties before? And if you have, what would you recommend people should do at those parties? And how does someone get invited to said parties?
Yeah, I've definitely gone to a lot of the Senpai Squad parties. I think you just buy a ticket. You don't need to get invited. Like, you just buy a ticket. That's usually how I get in. And like, please make sure that you go to party. Like, literally shake ass. That's the whole point. Like, just, yeah, don't go sit and stand alone. Like, everybody's having so much fun, and like, you make circles and everybody dances, and it's so much fun. So don't feel like you need to stay on the side. Like, go dance, shake that ass.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy, bruh.
I want to be so real. I'm in bed at 10:30 or 11 o'clock
That's so
because
real.
I fucking love to sleep like so much.
It's true.
And I actually went to my very first Senpai Squad party like 2 weeks.
I took her.
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
She shook
Yeah,
ass.
it was fun, but yeah, I haven't experienced like that side of it much just because I love to sleep.
Yeah.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Honestly, sleep is important, and
Michael.
me without sleep is like,
Yeah. And then you gotta wake up at 6 o'clock and do this. So.
Yeah.
all right, well, that concludes my questions. Thank you so much for
No problem.
agreeing to do this.
Yeah, of course.
This is your guys' time, and if you guys have anything to say, any last final thoughts, this would be the perfect time for that.
If you want to cosplay, do it. I believe in you.
Do it. Just do it. And remember,
Just do it.
remember this. Iron your costume.
Cut your wig.
Besides your guys' socials, is there anywhere, like, is there a next con you guys will be at where people can like check you out and like possibly find you?
We're everywhere.
Yeah, we go to so many cons. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know where I'm going next, but I'm going somewhere.
AWA.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
All right, that's in
I
January.
don't know where my next one is.
That is, yes. All man.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yes, I am going to Holmat in Florida. I'm a swamp girly, so if you're over there, I'm gonna be there.
Petrified, I thought that was a really cool cosplay name, like a handle. And Jean Wanwan, that name sounded very familiar to me. And then my brother kind of said something along the lines of something like, Jean Wanwan, isn't she the one that was at AX? And I thought about it, and he thought about it, and we sort of put it together that yes, we had sort of seen her at AX. I didn't actually talk to her at AX, but I remember she was dressed up as an OC of this sticker company, Fresh Tango. I have been following them for a really long time, again, on my private account. And I tried to interview him actually at AX. Unfortunately, I asked at a really bad time. I mentioned that I wanted to interview some people that had booths at AX, and he was one of those people, and it didn't work out because I asked him on the last day when they were closing. So it's my bad, honestly. It's not his. I talked to Fresh Tango, or the guy that runs it. I don't know his name, but he was very nice. He wanted to, but obviously had he had his hands tied, so he couldn't do it. Jean Wanwan dressed up as Floor, which is one of the OCs of Fresh Tango. Really cool store, like I said, check them out. She's really cool. Especially talking to her at AX Chibi now. Both her and Petrified were dressed up as Marissa and Shiori. I saw them almost as soon as I entered, and I immediately knew I wanted to interview them. It was kind of nerve-wracking just because I can already tell that they were professionals just because of the way that they carried themselves, their demeanor and whatnot. I asked initially to interview them, and they agreed. But the thing is, I asked in the middle of like some sort of whole live raffle where a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but a few people were giving out prizes based on raffle tickets. I got one, didn't win anything. After the raffle, I did the interview. Talking to Gene and talking to Petra, I realized not only are they professionals through and through, actually seeing them in the cosplay up close, you can see just how much time and effort they put into it. So I really liked seeing that, as well as the questions I asked them. Their replies were always very interesting and or funny. So I really liked that a lot. Since this was my first AX Chibi and they were the first people I interviewed, they really made a very strong impression about AX Chibi in itself, as well as you know, a strong impression on, you know, professional cosplayers in that world. Not only did they exude professionalism, and not only were they really cool, but they kind of, you know, have, I'll get to it in a bit, but basically they were really cool. I enjoyed talking to them. I'm really glad I kind of like sort of pushed myself to go talk to them. And the next person I interviewed was Stray Buns. They were cosplaying a Nikkei character, but specifically Neve, which is a character that I don't really see a lot of people dress up as.
Nice to meet you. I go by Beige_Moon on YouTube, and it's like really jumbled up when it comes to all the other socials. But for those that don't know who you're cosplaying, could you sort of like tell the people watching who you're cosplaying and why you decided to pick this character?
I'm cosplaying Neve from Nikkei. It's a game about these robot girls.
Yeah. Best way to put it.
Yeah. Robot girls shooting guns, saving the world. A lot of it's a lot of like, you know, a lot of them are showing a little lewd. They're a little lewd.
Right.
But the story is so amazing. Once you get like past it, it's like, oh my gosh.
Right.
It makes you cry. It makes you feel so many emotions. And I'm like, it's just so good. I really love the story, and I love the characters a lot too. They're all so different. They all have their own personalities, and their designs are amazing. They have amazing designs. This character, I love her a lot. She's not my favorite character, but you know, I do a lot of Nikkei cosplays. I'm trying to do every single one.
Single one?
Yes, there's a lot of characters though.
There is a lot.
I'd say maybe like 90, I think.
How many have you done so far?
I've done, I want to say like 3 or 4. I've done Modernia, she's my favorite. I've done Blanc, one of the bunny girls.
Right.
Neve.
Do you remember?
Oh, Neon.
Oh, Neon.
I have, I made her outfit from scratch actually, so I sewed it all myself.
My first question is, what are some differences between Anime Expo and Anime Expo Chibi for people that aren't aware?
Yeah. So I've actually never been to Anime Expo.
Oh, really?
But I do know all of my friends go and everything. It's huge. Anime Expo is huge.
Is there any like certain reason as to why you don't go to Anime Expo?
I wanted to go this year. I didn't have the money. It's
Right.
expensive.
It is
It's
expensive.
very expensive. The tickets are expensive. Where it is, it's in LA, right? It's
Right,
like
yeah. LA Convention Center.
yeah, and then getting hotels and everything, and then like walking there, and it's huge. There's a lot of people. I wanted to go. There was a Nikkei booth, and I really wanted to go there, but next year. Chibi is much smaller, I'd say. I think it's like a lot of like, oh, you're just coming here to meet your friends.
Right.
But when you go to Anime Expo,
It's very,
you
it's
go
hectic.
there. You go there to get merch.
Right.
And you go there to get autographs,
And, like, the
meet
panels,
people.
right?
Yeah, panels. Yeah, definitely for panels.
This next question is kind of like a little kind of fun one, but it's like you can travel anywhere in the world you want. All expenses paid and the stay is taken care of. However, you have to cosplay a recognizable anime character throughout the trip. Where are
Okay.
you going and who are you cosplaying as?
Oh.
Also to be like very clear, no safe ones, no like just like school uniforms.
Yeah. Okay. No safe ones.
I mean like
Anything a little out there.
nothing too normal.
Okay. Now people would be like, oh, that's just a normal girl.
Yeah.
Okay. I think. That's a hard question.
It is, right?
Something out there, I feel like maybe like a Genshin character.
Genshin character.
Yeah. Or like, oh, my dress up darling.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that. I would love my dress up darling.
Is there a specific cosplay that Marin did in My Dress Up Darling? that you
Rizu.
like?
I love Rizu.
Is that the one?
I feel like that one would be a little, maybe you can't go out.
Yeah.
That's the succubus.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good for nightlife though. It's a great
Yeah.
nightlife costume.
Yeah. She, maybe even like just Marin herself.
Okay.
Because I feel like her hair is very like,
Fair. I think people
it's a little,
recognize.
yeah, it's a little out there. So
All right.
I feel like I would cosplay anyone though. Anyone would be like funny. I feel like anyone. I just pull one out.
Okay. This next question is a little dangerous.
Okay.
And dare I say, a bit controversial.
Okay.
What is a popular anime that you personally think is overrated and why?
Overrated.
It could be any popular anime.
I feel like I haven't watched too much popular anime. I've never watched it, so I feel like I can't say anything. But also, Tokyo Ghoul? Or not
Oh.
Tokyo Ghoul, sorry. Tokyo Revengers, not Tokyo
Tokyo
Ghoul.
Revengers.
Not Tokyo Ghoul. I love Tokyo Ghoul, sorry. Tokyo Revengers.
Is there any reason why you think so?
I think the plot just didn't like stick out to me or anything. I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
just not interested in watching it. So,
Fair enough. Yeah. My next question is, sell not just me, but the viewers on one of your personal favorite underrated shows, and why should we watch it?
Underrated shows. Okay, really underrated show. I feel like no one ever talks about it. It's one of my top favorite animes. Parasite the Maximum.
Is that the one on Netflix with the weird?
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
like a parasite in his hand, and they have to like work together to get all the other parasites gone, basically,
Okay.
destroy them. It's very good. It's one of my favorites.
Gotcha.
The story was just so amazing. It was so gory.
Oh.
I never like that was like one of my first gore animes. I don't know. It was like so good.
Was it like very handleable gore? Like it's not too over the top.
I would say yeah, it's handleable. You can definitely watch it and be like, oh, there is gore happening, but
Maybe it's like
so
over
cool.
the top and it's
no,
like,
not like over the top, but
Okay.
it's so cool.
All right, cool.
It's like yeah, you get him. Yeah.
All right. What is your criteria for an anime waifu or husbando? What must the character have in terms of looks, personality, etc., to get what you to put said characters into your list? And what are some green and red flags?
Red flags. I feel like my top favorite like guy, Toji.
Koji?
I know a lot of people don't like him.
It's valid.
Yeah, Toji, so good. I'm just like, he's the perfect character for me. He's a little, controversial, but I think a lot of I feel like he's the only one that goes a bit off my list, but I like blonde characters, I like himbos. I like himbos.
Himbos, alright, yeah.
I feel like Toji's not that much of a himbo,
Not
but
really. He's pretty smart.
yeah, but he's top of the list. And then everyone else is just I don't really care.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for me personally to get attached to characters a little bit.
But what are the green and red flags for
Green-
characters? What makes them pop up to you? Yes, I like this.
Yeah.
They must have this. If they have that, no thank you.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, I don't judge too hard on characters. I think if they have a very interesting personality and a very interesting way they look or design, I'm more about design actually. Toji's not a great example because he's kind of looks
He's an interesting character though.
yes,
You
the
can't- I can't knock
character, his personality and his story is very interesting.
it. Right.
But looks wise, he's kind of an average dude. He just has a worm on him.
True.
Yeah. But he's wearing that tight shirt and their personality, I like funny characters. If they're silly or funny, I'll go for them.
So
I feel like
would you say it's the opposite? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no,
it's
you're okay.
The opposite. If it's someone's too serious, would that be a red flag for you? If they're always not able.
maybe not maybe a little bit. Not red flag in the bad way, but red flag in oh, you're not too interesting.
Okay,
You know?
gotcha.
You probably won't become my favorite,
Right.
but I'd say yeah. That'd be the opposite.
All right. Do you remember what got you into cosplaying? What was the moment where you decided I actually want to cosplay as the characters I like?
Yeah.
And how did you build that confidence to get you to where you are now?
So, I think I was like 10. I was very young. One day, I really loved Miku. I was such a big fan of Miku. And I saw people cosplaying her, and I was like, you can do that? That is crazy. And I was like looking in the videos, I was watching, people going to the mall.
Right.
Going out in cosplay, going and doing all this stuff in cosplay. And I was just like, whoa, that's so cool. And I feel like people that go out, they go to malls, they go to just out in the park.
Like public.
Yeah, in public. They have so much confidence. They don't care about how they look. They don't care that they look like an anime character.
Or that they're standing out.
Yeah, they don't care they're standing out. And I think that's amazing. The confidence that you have to be a cosplayer and the skills that you get.
Right.
My first cosplay was Keith from Voltron. I unfortunately haven't done a Vocaloid cosplay yet, but one day. But I was like so inspired. So I was like, I want to be confident. I want to have like fun. These people look like they're having so much fun. So I started looking into cosplay and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Maybe. If I'm really old, probably. But I was just like, this is so cool. And I started buying cosplays, then I started making cosplays. It got me really into like makeup and styling wigs. It's a lot, actually.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of,
It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of, you have to be very passionate about it.
I feel like a lot of people oftentimes don't realize how hard cosplaying can get.
Yes.
You go to these cons, you see people dressed up, and it's like, oh, how hard can that be? But
Yeah.
like the prep for all the costuming, the planning, the wig itself, and
Yeah.
making the whole cosplay must be.
And then like, if you want to be exact and accurate,
Right.
let's say it's a character that nobody really cosplays, you might have to make it.
Right.
You might not be able to buy it, and you're gonna have to make that from scratch. I had to do that a bunch of times. Go to the store. I started learning how to sew. I bought a sewing machine to start cosplaying. Yeah, I think the thing I love about cosplaying is getting to meet people too.
Right. Yeah.
Socializing, meeting new friends, and just the skills that you learn.
Right.
You learn to socialize. You learn to do all these crafts.
Plus, it gives you an opportunity to sort of connect with other people because you guys
Yeah.
are doing pretty much the same thing,
Yeah.
right? So.
And then if you see someone cosplaying what you're cosplaying, hey, I love your cosplay.
Right.
And then friends for life.
That's always really good to hear too.
Yeah.
Like when someone appreciates your cosplay.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. It's a very rewarding craft.
Because like you work so hard on it, it's great to just get the compliment.
Yeah, it's so rewarding. I love doing it.
In your opinion, what are the essential tools that someone would need to make a successful cosplay?
Honestly, the will.
The will.
The will to do it.
Right.
If you have the passion, you can do whatever you want. I know when I first started cosplaying, I would just be like, I really want to do this character, I'm gonna do this character. I will figure out a way. Go to thrift stores, find pieces and put them together. Get a wig. You can do anything. You can commission people for wigs. You can watch makeup tutorials, all that type of stuff.
But I really like that answer.
Yeah.
The passion, right?
Yeah, it's really all of like,
Knowing that it'll take a long time, it'll be a hard process, but if you can go through
yeah,
with it.
really it's all like, if it's a character you really love, you're gonna want to do it right.
Right.
You're gonna want it to be perfect, which is just how I feel like how cosplay goes. Obviously, sometimes it might not be perfect. Sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect too.
Right. No matter what, like the first cosplay is never gonna be the best, but
Yeah.
you gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
And
So it
then
takes time.
I feel like I put myself up to such a high standard. Cosplayers nowadays, I feel like, really put themselves, they're like, I have to go better and better and better. And it's so hard. And I feel like the standard's so high.
Right. I feel like every year with like better techniques and
Yeah.
technology and whatnot, the bar becomes like a lot higher for people.
And then I feel at the same time, you don't need to reach that bar.
Right.
You,
It's like a personal bar.
you're doing your best. And however you get there, and if you love your cosplay, if you love it, that's all you need.
Right.
It doesn't need to be the exact color, the exact way. It's just fun. It's just something to do.
All right. This last one, this question is like the last one for cosplays.
Yeah.
Is there any words of wisdom you have for newer cosplayers? What are some words of advice you would give to people that wished that you knew when you started?
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, like I was saying, don't put yourself on such a high pedestal.
Right.
You will get it eventually. I'd say definitely watch makeup tutorials. Watch wig styling tutorials. There's so many places you can look. Go on YouTube.
There's a lot of references.
Look up wig styling tutorials. Look up makeup tutorials. Look up sewing if you want to start getting into that. I think just looking into it. You can look up cosplay and there will be tons of like tutorials on how to do stuff. It's so accessible now. Back then, it used to not be as accessible. You had to do it all yourself. So I think genuinely, just look into it and don't put yourself so high.
Don't be scared to start.
Yeah, don't be scared to start.
Next question is my last question
Yeah.
for you. Anime Expo, as well as a bunch of other anime conventions, have after parties that have become more well known in recent times.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to one of those parties before? If you have, what would you recommend people should do at the parties? And how does someone get invited to one of these?
Like the Senpai Squad ones or something?
It could be the Senpai Squad ones. I know some people have like parties at their
Hotels and
and stuff.
I think I've been to a few parties. I think if it's like hotel parties, you just make friends.
Right.
And then like,
Eventually someone knows somebody. And,
yeah, someone
right.
will be like, hey, do you want to come to a party with me? Yeah. I think the Senpai Squad ones, they're like raves more. They call them
Right,
raves.
right. You like pay money to actually go.
Yeah, you pay money to go. You can get invited as a guest, but I think you have to be like pretty known cosplayer.
Yeah.
But honestly, those parties aren't bad. I've been to a Senpai Squad one for what is it? Bishoujo? It's actually pretty fun. It was in Vegas. You just go there for the music, really.
And the cosplays, right?
And the cosplays, yeah. Because
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I've like, oh, I'm going to this Bishoujo cosplay. I'm gonna cosplay Iron Mouse.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Yeah.
This part is for you. If you have anything you'd like to say for final thought, if you have a place where someone that people watch can
Yeah.
find you.
I think final thoughts, cosplay. Don't be scared to do it. It's genuinely one of my favorite hobbies in the world. I love doing it. It's brought me so much happiness. I've made so many friends. I've learned a lot. I've learned so much. And I'm like getting emotional about it. I just love cosplay. And I think if you're interested, definitely do it. And if you guys want to find me, I'm on Instagram at Stray Buns, the BUNZ.
It's no like underscores or anything.
No, just Stray Buns.
Gotcha.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok.
All under the same one. Right?
Yeah, all under Stray Buns.
Seeing them in that cosplay, I thought, yeah, I want to ask this person to do an interview. Luckily enough, they said yes, and the interview went perfectly. I thought it was a really good interview. I really liked their energy. I liked their passion. And talking to both Stray Buns as well as Petrified and Jean Wanwan made me realize that I also have that kind of want to cosplay. These questions that I write that are more directed in general towards people that want to start cosplaying, I'm one of those people. And so I kind of write in the perspective not only of myself, but as someone that wants to cosplay but hasn't yet, or may have some reservations about it. And after being at these cons and after talking to these cosplayers of all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of popularity, I realized that I also kind of want to do that. So I have some plans. I don't want to talk about them right now because it's a little too soon, but next year I have some ideas that are really cool. I want to definitely do them. My goal is to cosplay like 3 different characters for all 3 days of AX next year. But I look really forward to it. My goal, of course, is through these interviews and through these experiences, I'd love to make some cosplay friends. And me being for someone that primarily lives in Korea, but also speaks English and Korean very well, I kind of want to be that person that kind of bridges the gap between both Korea and America for cons, especially Anime Expo or like anime cons. There are a lot of cosplayers I'd like to meet both in the Korean scene and the American scene, and I'd like to sort of encourage them through me. I would like to be able to open up that sort of like avenue for cosplayers to go from America to Korea, Korea to America, and kind of know what to expect, as well as being able to enjoy, you know, the best of both worlds, if you will. I'd like to eventually do that for people in Japan, but I am not proficient in Japanese, and that is something I need to work on going forward into the future. So expect that. My goals also are to connect with cosplayers and befriend a few of them, a lot of them actually. And I would love to, you know, go to conventions cosplaying together and whatnot. Even if it's not in the same theme, just cosplaying together seems like it'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's probably easy to tell that none of this is scripted. I want to give you guys like a very true to self, real version of me without really filtering that out or like writing out a script. I thought about it for the longest time, but it just, going forward, I don't think I will, just because the part of me and the part of my charm is I feel that if I write and have a script for it, it kind of takes away from that. So I kind of like collect my thoughts and then record all this in like a few takes. It's not in one go, or else if I could do it in one go, that'd be great, but I don't have that kind of skill. I am kind of working towards that. I got a little off track there, but basically after interviewing people at, you know, AX, after interviewing people at EVO, why I did it was because I want to build my confidence towards talking to people. And also, I've never interviewed people before. Like I said, I've mentioned this in my intro video, and I've mentioned this a few times before, but besides writing interviews on paper, like asking questions and jotting it down, I've never done like video interviews. So this is a very new world for me. Approaching people is very scary, as you may know. I'm an introvert, but just barely. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but my MBTI, I'm an extrovert, but only like 60%. So I'm barely an extrovert, just barely. But after, you know, recording those interviews at AX and at EVO, I realized that I don't want to interview a lot of people because, one, it's hard for my editor. It's hard for him to do all that editing through all those clips. And so having a bunch, as cool as it was, talking to a bunch of people, and I don't regret it. I wouldn't change that for the world. But for the sake of not stressing him out, as well as for the sake of having more meaningful interviews, I feel like I'm gonna contain it to lesser interviews, like less interviews, and also kind of attach it with the experience overall with the interviews. So you kind of get 2 instead of just 1. Because I feel me alone, I can't just do interview videos, and I can't do a video just talking about my experiences, because I feel like one or the other, I personally can't make a compelling enough video for you guys. So there's that as well. But going forward, the next con I will be at will be ALA, which is in January. I have an idea. I had a shower thought idea, and I ran it I ran it to Yunsi, and he thought it was a really interesting idea. So I don't want to tell you what it is. I want the video to come out, and then you'll see what it is. But it's gonna be a little different in terms of like asking questions. It won't just be just straight up asking questions. There will be a sort of theme to it. So look forward to that. And yeah, I also am very open to collaborations. I'm not a big content creator as a recording, and I probably won't be for a while. because I'm kind of figuring out what kind of content I want to do as I go. But again, this is a means to push myself past my boundaries and to sort of push me towards the goal and like what I want to be, where I want to be. And in order to do that, I feel that through YouTube, it's necessary. So YouTube is a journey about me, and it is not just about me. It's about me kind of sort of imploring you guys, the viewers, imploring you guys to go out there past your comfort zones. And your time here is too limited to just stop yourself from having fun or to live with all these regrets. If you can live with less, I always encourage that. So through this, through me doing YouTube, being in this journey, I hope that I can at least reach even just one person to sort of like push you guys towards what you want to do. That is my goal. Anyways, I don't think I have anything else to say. I have some certain ideas I'd love to do. I'd love to touch base and, you know, talk to and possibly befriend the people that I have interviewed at some point. If not, you know, it is what it is, but I'd love to do so. I'd love to sort of build my name in the cosplay scene too at some point as well, but that is yet to be seen. And I will document like that whole journey once I start. Yeah, I have nothing else to talk about for now. Yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to be kind to your friends, your family, but most importantly, yourself. I'll see you guys later.